Hey YouTube, how's it going? This is Rick from Bend, Oregon. Um, I looked all over on YouTube and the internet and I could not find how to do this, so I decided to take some pictures and do a video. Um, so this is a Kenmore lid. There are springs that help the lid, support the lid so it doesn't come crashing down. And this is how to replace those. I'm going to try to blast through this because it's pretty long. You can always pause on a page and if you need some more detail. So this is a Kenmore Series 700 down here. Here's the model number up here. Model number is good to be able to look it up on some of the websites to find this specific part. I think it's a pretty common part across a lot of different models. So it's a top loading washer. The lid goes up. It's got the glass. It's about 10 years old, I'd say. So the springs are underneath in this horizontal frame, this thing here on each corner. And there's a little L bracket that goes into each of those. And again, it helps support it. So I was doing the laundry one day and I put the lid up and I went to put it down. I usually just kind of drop it and it kind of self-closes to some extent. And it went crashing down and thought I was gonna break the glass. So I knew one of the hinges was bad. So the best way to look up the part numbers is I went to searsparts.com. Here's the lid. Here's that little L bracket I'm talking about. And then here's the hinge. I think it just shows one side. So it's number 14 and 15 for me. And then if you go down on the website, you'll see the part numbers. I don't know if it showed the right side. It was just kind of showing the left side, but I think it showed both springs under like 15, 15A, 15B, something like that. So here is the left side. So looking at the washer, left side, right side, obviously. You do have to work from the back, so left, right kind of gets a little squirrely. But this is a left spring. And this is off of SearsPartsDirect.com. It's about 85 bucks. It's not cheap. Here is a different website, AppliancePartsPros.com. Is a little bit cheaper there. But here is the part number for the left side is it ends in 357. And then here it is on the Appliance Parts Pros one. Here's the part number. There's other part numbers you can cross-reference if yours brings up one of these other ones. There's a lot of different numbers for the same part. And again, it says that this is on the left side. The right side looks basically the same. The colors I think were different, blue, red, it doesn't really matter. This is for the right side. Again, this one was 95 bucks. I don't know why it's more. And again, it ends in 358. And again, this is obviously SearsPartsDirect.com. Here is appliance parts. This one was how much? 87 bucks. And again, this is the right side. And again, it ends in 358. Other part numbers here. This is further down on the same site. And again, it's on the right side. So those are the two part numbers. I read something about doing them in pairs. I just replaced the one. It works perfectly fine, to keep it balanced or something. So just replace the one that's broken. So there's really two phases to this thing. First, you need to figure out which side is broken, unless you're just going to spend 160 bucks and buy both of them and replace both of them. So I kind of took it apart, figured out which one was bad, put it back together, ordered it off of eBay for 20 bucks total. It was used, but it works fine. So this is, again, the inspection phase to kind of take it apart so you can read through that stuff. I'm not going to talk through all that, but I'll just kind of show you the pictures. So obviously you want to take this thing apart because you're going to be getting into some of the guts of the electrical. Not so much, I don't think, on this phase, but I think on the next phase. So there's two screws in the back that you need to take off. You don't want to take off this bottom one. This it's a green piece of metal hinge type thing. So you need to take off the top screw. This is looking from the back of the washer. So this is the right side from the front. It's the left side from the back, however you want to think about it. but just take off this top screw. Don't take off the bottom screw, because this whole lid will pivot back on these green pieces of metal. Here's the right side from the back, left side from the front. Take again off just the top screw. Do not take out the middle one. So again, we're going to pivot the whole thing up and back. The water lines, they're in the middle and they're going kind of straight down. So what you need to do is basically put them going out horizontal so you can tilt the lid. If you try to tilt the lid with them like this, it'll bind here and you can't tilt the lid. So just basically loosen them up, tilt them, turn them 90 degrees horizontal, and then tighten them back up and turn off the water too. It's going to drip a little bit, so turn off the water at the main valves on the wall. So this is what I'm calling the horizontal frame. The lid kind of sits in that. What you want to do, here's a lid right here. You want to tape the lid just as you're folding the whole thing up, because it might open on you, and you just want to, you're going to need to open and close it eventually to test the springs, but you don't want it to crash when you're tilting the thing back. So tape it in the front, just the top to the horizontal frame. You don't want to tape it any lower. So what you're going to do, this whole frame, the horizontal frame basically pulls out the red arrows after you tape it, the lid, and then you see the green arrows. The whole thing kind of slides towards you, and then the whole thing goes up, and those two green tabs on the back is what it's pivoting off of. So here's what it looks like when it's up. Ignore the tape on this picture. I kind of did it differently. took me a lot longer to do it than I'm showing you how to do it. And then you need to have somebody either hold that up there. This is the horizontal frame. Have somebody hold it, or have something to lean it against. I have some cabinets that I could lean it against. So this is kind of what it looks like tilted up. Ignore the screwdriver on this one here, but this is the spring. This is on the right side of the washer. Again, I'm back in the front now, so this is on the right side. So here's the spring. There's two screws that hold this thing in, and there's one right here that's already removed in this picture. I'll show you in a minute, or further down in the deck. And then this screw comes in from the top. They could have made this a lot easier if they would have said both screws go in from the bottom and you'd be done. But you have to take the whole control panel off to get to this is the bottom of the screw. But again, that's kind of in the next phase. So here's the right side. And what you want to do is you want to take the tape off the lid, and you want to open and close the lid while someone's holding the horizontal frame, and you can kind of tilt it back down towards you. And if you can see this spring moving, that means it's good. If it's not moving, then something's broken. Probably, I'll show you the pictures of where mine broke. So you need to do that on the right spring to see if it's moving, that's good. If it's not moving at all when you open and close the lid, then it means that needs to be replaced. So this one was not moving, so this is the part that I ordered. That was the right spring. To get to the left spring, it's a little bit more complicated. You need to take this little bleach tray out from the top. So there's little tabs on there. You kind of got to push in from the sides if you have like a trim tool or something. Kind of push in and the whole thing just snaps out. So you need to take that one off on the top. And then there is a big kind of white one on the bottom here. And then there's a black hose right here where the spring is hiding underneath there. So I had to take all that stuff off. I didn't take any pictures, unfortunately. And again, I open and close the lid, and that one was moving. So if the spring is, you can see it kind of going into tension, that means it's good. So I did not order the one for the left. I just ordered the one for the right because it was broken and because it wasn't stretching or moving. Okay, so they're again about 80 bucks each. I got a used one off of eBay for 20 bucks, including delivery. I would just replace the one that's broken unless you just don't want to do this again and you want to spend the money. So to put it back together, you basically tilt the thing back down. the horizontal frame, you push it back, it goes down, the green arrows first, the whole thing slides back. There's some kind of clips underneath here, and you got to kind of wiggle jiggle to get it to slide back. So that, and then there's the 2 screws. So this is the one on the right side on the back, which is the left side from the front. This is on the left side from the back, right side from the front. So put those 2 screws back in, and you can change the water lines back down, or just leave them as they are, as long as they're not leaking, and order the parts. And week 2 later, now we're into the replacement phase. So similar, but a little different. Again, you want to unplug it. There's 2 screws that hold the L bracket in. So there's a bracket right here in the next picture you'll see, and that's what goes into that spring. So take out these 2 screws. This is on the lid. The lid's, vertical right here. Take out those 2 screws. You can see the L bracket is right there. And then kind of wedge something in there and pry it this way. Kind of flip it down to clear this piece here, and then pull it out. So this is what it looks like when it's out. This is the L bracket. This is rectangular down here. So it's not round shaft. It's almost like a key type thing. So it slides into the hinge, which has a little rectangular slot as well. So that's what engages with the hinge, which is buried underneath here. So you have to take the lid off to just to make life easier to get the hinges out. So I just took out the right side. I think, if you're replacing the left hinge, you just take out one side so you can get the lid up out of the way. So here's a hole that it goes into. You can't see the hinge, but it's hidden behind there. So you have to remove the control panel to get rid of that, or to get access to that 1 screw I mentioned earlier. The control panel's the top part there, and you pretty much be working from the back of the washer. So there are 3 screws that are almost vertical. Again, this is on the left side from the back. I'm just going to say this is from the back of the machine. This is the far left side, which is the right side from the front. Then there's another screw. It's about like 1.5 inch, pretty heavy duty Phillips screw. You have to take that screw out. Again, I had the lines, I just left them horizontal while I was waiting for the parts. And then there's one more on the right side that you have to take out as well. And those are the 3 things that are holding that control panel. What you want to do is kind of, oops, sorry. Uh-oh. Sorry, folks. I hit a wrong button. Dun, dun, dun. So we're back. Oh, almost back. Sorry about that. Again, so this is the back of the control panel. What you want to do is gently kind of tilt the whole thing up. So kind of like you did with the lid going back this way towards the back. This you want to kind of tilt towards the front, and there's kind of just plastic tabs that hold it once you get those three screws out. So here is the screw on this is for the right side hinge, which is the left side, the back. So the control panel's flipped up here. The screw is already removed there, but that's the screw that you're going to have to take out, which is one of the screws that holds the spring. You can see in the last picture here, if you look close, it was cracked, the plastic cracked, and you need that to stay intact. So I just got some kind of metallic ducting tape and just put it over that just to hold that in place. But that's a screw for the right side spring. And here is a screw. You can see it's still in there on the left side. I never took that one off. I just left it alone. But that's the one you have to take out to get if you're going to be doing the left spring. So now what you want to do to get to the screw on the bottom of the horizontal frame, you want to tape the control panel, because you're going to have to get back in there. Just tape the control panel to the horizontal frame. So we're going to tilt it back up again. And then again, it makes it easier to have somebody to kind of hold things. So similar to what we did before, this is a repeat of the inspection phase. You take out that one screw in the back, just the top one. take out the top one on the right side from the back. Put the lines horizontal if they're not already. And then again, you're going to pull it out, red arrows towards you, and then the whole thing's going to flip up. And again, it's worth having a friend to to hold it. So this again is what it looks like. You saw this earlier. So the screw that you took out earlier from underneath the control panel, that's this guy here. The screw is still in there. I did it kind of opposite, but that is the screw that's coming down from the top under the control panel. And here's the other. Oh, the other screw's not there right now. In the next, here's the screw that you're taking off from the bottom. So you already took off this one. You're going to take off this one, and this whole piece will just come out. You can see there's little white nipples that go into holes in the bracket right here. So just to kind of get it all lined up, you want to make sure that those are lined up there. And again, you want to have the L bracket out of there, because it would be tough to replace it with the L bracket in there. That's why we took the whole lid off earlier. Okay, so take off that one. That whole spring comes out. Put this screw back in on the new one, and then we're gonna have to go back and do the upper one. So you can see here on mine, here's the old one, a side view, and the whole part that the L bracket goes into, the whole thing just corroded and broke off. So here's the good one. Here's the little kind of rectangular slot that L bracket goes into. This is trash. So this is the one I got from eBay for 20 bucks delivered. So the left spring, again, it's a little more difficult because of all the stuff you got to take off. So again, you got to take out this little tray, and then you need to take out this tray here, and there's a black hose there's like a little hose clamp type holder that's holding it to access that area. I don't have good pictures of that because I didn't replace that one, but you have to take those parts off to access the spring, and it's the same thing. There's the one last screw that's holding it there. I think you can see it right there. I think that's the screw, that arrow there. But it's the same as the right side, pretty much. Okay, so now we're putting it back together. So tilt it back down. After you put everything back together, put those little trays back, the hose back where it was. If you're doing the left side, tilt the whole thing down, push it back, wiggle, jiggle to make it lock under there's kind of a tab on each side here, left side, right side. Put in the top screw on the back, put in the right screw from the back on that green piece of metal there, those tabs that you hinge the whole horizontal frame off of. And now we're going to put the upper screw back. So again, here's the screw in place on the left side. I had the tape underneath there, and here's the screw on the right side. So that's the one that goes down through the hinge from the top and holds it in place. Just snug it up, and then the hinge is secure. To put the control panel back down, you got to line up. There's kind of some tabs and some plastic stuff here, so you need to kind of move it left, right a little bit, and then kind of push down as you rotate it back towards the back of the washer, and kind of keep pushing down to make sure that the plastic, it kind of has to like go underneath as you're rotating it down. And the way you know it's good is if it's nice and flush on the front. If you have a gap there on the front, then that means you need to do it again, hinge it back up, tilt it back up, and then kind of push down as you lower it towards the back of the machine. And then again, there's the 3 screws. Here's the one on the left rear. Here's the one in the middle, and then this is the right from the rear, and that holds the control panel down. And that's essentially it, except for replacing the lid. So to put the lid in, again, I left the L bracket on here, so you have to kind of put it in. You might have to kind of tilt it back and forth for it to go into the hinge. I can't remember what the kind of the default is, if you will. I think it's fairly horizontal. So you just need to kind of tilt the lid to get the L bracket on the left side to go in, and then this is on the right side. I kind of put it in here, and then I had to kind of tilt the lid back and forth until I could push it all the way in to the rectangular slot on the hinge spring. And that's fully in. And then you need to replace the 2 screws right there. And then that is basically it. Oh, you need to put the hoses back down. I would put them down just for long term, and then make sure when you turn the water on, they're not leaking. And that is basically it. So good luck. Hopefully this explains it. And well, I'm glad I'm finally done with this. It took forever. Cheers.